a little bit this way also. Okay, awesome. I am live. Cool. Hi, everybody. I'm going to kind of be doing this a little in a couple different ways. I have my phone live streaming to one of our groups, and then I have my computer live streaming to my YouTube channel, and another group of mine that was like an Ayurvedic group that I did a couple months ago, where we looked deeper into the doshas and koshas and all of that. So that's where my laptop is streaming, and then I have my phone streaming to our Liver Love summer detox group, where we just finished up a awesome Ayurvedic organic liver cleanse, and then today we're jumping into a parasite cleanse actually. So that's really fun. Those of you that are there in that group, awesome. I'm so happy to be here with you guys. Everybody else watching on other channels, wow, this is like, there's so much going on. Everybody else watching on other platforms or channels, that is definitely something you want to look into. It's kind of one of those things that unfortunately we have to accept that, yes, we live in this world full of symbiotic relationships and all of that. I wouldn't necessarily call parasites a symbiotic relationship because I don't think we're necessarily getting anything from it. But we do all have these exposures to not only pathogens and bacteria and viruses, but we are also exposed to other things like molds, funguses, and things like parasites. So doing an annual or, a couple times a year, doing a liver cleanse and a parasite cleanse is something that's really, really an awesome thing. So without further ado, I guess I will go ahead and get started with everything. Again, this has been trying to position myself for both videos. This has been awesome. I'm actually in the middle of my liver cleanse now because I missed it. I actually had a cold that I'm getting over. So I've got my Vitality here that I'm drinking. I took my black seed oil this morning. I still take my fulvic every day, which technically is part of the parasite cleanse. So I've got my fulvic here, and then this is actually the purge tonic, and you guys are probably way too far away to see this, but definitely excited for that. If you have a mat, go ahead and grab a mat. If you have a block, it's good to have a block if you need to do any kind of modifications, and I can help walk you through that. So let's all get started together and just kind of ground, set our intentions. We can set a group intention, but it's always good to kind of mentally set your own personal intention as well. Like, what do you want to gain from this class? Is it just peace of mind? Is it just taking time aside for yourself and getting your body flowing, getting your body moving? There's a lot of different things you can do for your intention. So we're gonna sit in a nice comfortable position. If you'd like to sit on a block or a bolster or a pillow, you can do that, or you can just find a comfortable seated position on the floor. And we're just gonna slow our breath for a moment. We're gonna start to go internal, connecting to this moment. Just watching your breath right now. Becoming aware, becoming present of any sounds, smells, tastes, thoughts. We're not trying to push any of that out. We're just becoming one with this moment, breathing and connecting. Now focus on whatever intention you want to set for your class. I guess as a group intention, we can set it for harmony, balance, assistance in detox, assistance in grounding. When we detox, sometimes we forget to ground, or we're not as grounded. Our body is opening up all of these pathways and doing all of these things we don't normally do, and maybe we're finding we need to rest more. And getting outside barefoot, getting in the sun is also a really, really great thing. So now what we're going to do is we're going to imagine there's a little string on top of the head. And we're just going to pull that little string up. That just brings our posture to a nice, full, upright posture. This is going to open up all of the vertebrae in the spine, where all of our nervous system runs out of, right? So you have your central nervous system, the brain, spinal column, and then you have all the nerves that come out through all the different vertebrae into our limbs and all of our organs and all of that. So it's good to kind of make some space between all those vertebrae. So you're going to imagine there's a little string at the top of the head, and just inhale as you bring that up. And as you exhale, keep that integrity of the spine, but draw down through your sit bones, those little bones that are actually part of your legs, but they come out through your bottom. And feel those sinking into the mat, sinking into the floor, connecting with Mother Gaia, connecting with Mother Earth. Inhaling, expanding, coming up, and exhaling, grounding. We're going to take our left hand, and I don't know how this is mirrored on different ones, so if it's opposite of whatever I say, bear with me, because I'm working with two different cameras and platforms, so I don't know which one will go the opposite way. So you're going to take, I'm going to take my left hand, and I'm going to place it on my head and give a nice little stretch while placing the other hand on my shoulder, just to really deepen that stretch, and breathe into this. Remember, we have so many different meridian channels that run through the body. We have our nadi system, which is 72,000 different pathways. We're going to inhale back to center, and we're going to switch the hands, giving a nice little deep stretch on the other side of the neck. Remembering inhaling, just expanding yourself, exhaling, ground and deepen. And then we'll inhale, come back to center. We're going to take our right hand up and out, just give a nice little stretch. We're going to reach that around, giving a nice little stretch in the trap, maybe in your rotator cuff muscles, wherever you feel that today. Again, closing the mind, just breathing. Inhale here, exhale, and shake it out. We're going to switch the arms. And you're going to drop that shoulder into the socket. So you don't want your shoulders to be up high. You want to make sure it's nice and level, right in place. Then you're just going to gently pull it across the body, giving a nice little stretch. It's just little mini warm-ups. Tune into your breath, expand and ground. This is part of that yin-yang flow, okay? So we're expanding as we inhale, opening up the chest, drawing in that oxygen, that prana, that life force. Exhale, grounding back down. And on that exhale, you can shake out the arms. We'll do one more little mini stretch here. We're going to reach back, pat ourselves on the back, come over with our opposite arm. I don't think I'm even going to do right and lefts today because it's too confusing. And give a nice little stretch in the tricep. This is an area that doesn't get stretched that much. Again, going back to your breath, back to your intention. You can use your ujjayi breath here, which is our ocean breath, where you inhale nice and slow through the nose. And as you exhale, you're going to exhale through the mouth. Slightly audible, kind of sounds like ocean waves, or like when you put a conch shell up to your ears. We'll inhale here, exhale, shake it out. Shaking is really good for excess energy. All that stagnant energy comes out of us. We're going to take our opposite hand, reach back, grab that shoulder. Take the other hand, grabbing the elbow, just giving a nice little stretch. And do this, you want to feel the stretch, but don't injure yourself. Make sure you're not in pain. Using that ujjayi breath again, in through the nose as you expand, filling up the chest. Exhale. Nice, slight, audible breath, like ocean waves. Expanding and grounding. keeping that integrity in the spine. Inhale here, and exhale, shake it out. You can grab some water or some tea if you need to, whatever you need to do to keep yourself flushing, right? Starting to get the body moving a little bit. We're going to do some a seated cat-cow. So you're going to imagine there's another little string right in your sternum, right in the middle of the chest. And as you inhale, you're going to draw forward, exhale, round the back. Inhale, draw forward, and exhale, round the back. I'm going to sit this way for a moment just so you can see how that movement is supposed to go, because a lot of people just move forward like that. If that's all that's available to you, that's fine. But really, you're going to kind of want to feel, you might feel like a little hussy or something here because you're really wanting to like push your chest out, right? Having that string pull you forward. Exhale, rounding the back to a seated cat. Inhale again, pushing forward. Exhale, round the back. And you can continue to do that again until you feel like that's nice and complete, like really opening up that chest cavity, opening up all those vertebral muscles, oh my gosh, all the vertebra in the back and your muscles in the back. Getting the ribs to move. And we're going to take this into a little bit of a Kundalini rotation. You're going to inhale forward, and then you're going to move to one side and slowly work your way into that cat. Coming around the other side, going into a full circle, moving forward. Same position, forward and back, but you're just adding a rotation to it. This is starting to get that lower spine moving, getting the hips and the sacrum moving. And just doing that a few times until you feel nice and comfortable. I would typically have music on, but I have my phone recording. And then we're going to switch the rotation to the other side. So same thing, pulling that chest forward on your inhale, exhale, rounding the back. Inhale, forward and back. Nice big inhale as you come forward. Exhale as you come back. We're going to come into a seated butterflies. This is our Baddha Konasana. And we're just going to, this is what we do in kids class, right? Just kind of give it a little bounce, waking up the area, getting that energy flowing. And we're going to stay stationary. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, float them down. If you need your block, this is a good time you can use it if you want to. If you don't come all the way down, you can just use this to help brace yourself. You can do it tall, flat, medium, whatever feels good for you today. We're just going to reach forward, give a nice little stretch in the legs. Sprinkles will come help. She's my assistant. She loves to do yoga with me. We're going to bring the feet forward. I have like stuff on my feet. Inhale up, and we're going to reach forward and just give a nice little stretch. This is just still a warm up. We're going to get into that Yin-Yang flow here pretty soon. And just continue to breathe here using that Ujjayi breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. There's so much more we can do here. Oh my gosh, I'm such a nerd. So we're just going to go ahead and we're going to bring one foot in, give a nice little deeper stretch to this. Inhale up, exhale, float the arms down. I like to change it up a little bit too. This is probably because I have two girls who are dancers, but I like to point the foot. Now, part of that is when you have the foot flexed, you're going to be getting a different meridian pattern. You're hitting the back of the leg, which is the kidney meridian. When you point that foot, you're going to feel it in the top of the foot. So right here is you've got liver 2 and 3, right in between the big toe and the little toes. You're going to feel a nice stretch there. This is going to be awesome for this liver cleanse, right? Even if you've just completed it, or if you're still in the middle of it, or you're just starting it, or you haven't yet, that's going to be an awesome place because you're really opening up that liver meridian. So sitting up nice and tall, dropping the shoulders down away from the ears. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, float the hands down. You're really going to feel that stretch in that foot now. And again, if this is a new move for you, keep it comfortable. Like, yes, you want to challenge yourself a little bit, but you want to make sure you're not injuring yourself also. Using that Ujjayi breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. And I guess if you want background music, you can always put it on at your house too. We're going to switch the legs here, doing a flexed foot first, really getting into that kidney meridian, dropping the shoulders down away from the ears. Have nice integrity in the spine. Maybe you feel that little string pulling you up as you ground through the sit bones. We're going to inhale the arms up. Exhale, float them down. Deeper stretch in that kidney meridian. So you want your kidneys to be optimal for these cleanses too, and just in general. Energy, kidney meridian is associated with energy, getting that chi really flowing, and also, the detox element with kidney and bladder meridian go together here. So inhaling and exhale out through the mouth. Nice detoxing, purging sigh, right? Like inhale nice and deep. Exhale out. You can slowly walk the hands up a little bit. We're going to point that toe this time. This is going to get that liver meridian again in between the big toe and the little toes. Same thing, sitting up nice and tall, dropping the shoulders down, away from the ears, nice integrity in the spine. We're grounded in through our sit bones. We're going to inhale the arms up. Exhale, float the arms down. Feel that stretch in the top of the foot, really bringing some life to that liver meridian there. Opening up that pathway, using that Ujjayi breath, breathing deep into it, purging out as you exhale. And as you inhale, you're drawing in. You can imagine a white, clear, healing light. You can imagine your prana, your chi flowing into your body and into that meridian, into that organ, and just exhaling all of stagnation out. We actually detox a lot through our breath when we use our breath work. One more deep breath here. You can slowly walk the hands up and shake the legs out if you want to. We kind of did this stretch with our feet flexed, so let's go ahead and do both of them with both of the toes pointed here. So we're going to inhale the arms up. Exhale, float down. Be careful not to cramp the feet here. If they start to feel like they're cramping, you can come out of it or you can flex them, okay? Nice Ujjayi breath, ocean breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. We'll do one little split here. It doesn't matter how far you go. Your split can be like this. You can be a full split. I don't have my full split yet, but getting close to it. And I haven't stretched in a while, so I probably shouldn't go as far as I normally would. Another great time for a block. So you can place it whichever height that you need it to. You're going to sit nice and tall, and keeping that integrity in the spine, grounding through those sit bones. You should really feel those sit bones sinking into the mat at this point. We're going to inhale the arms up. Exhale, float them down. I don't like to use my block, but if you need it, you can. We're going to just take some deep breaths here. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Nice purging breath. It's purging and nourishing because as you inhale nice and deep, you really are drawing that prana, that life force energy, that chi into the body. You're bringing it in, you're flushing out any of these stagnant nadis, which are basically little micro meridians, your nervous system, your cardiovascular system, oxygenating the body, and then exhale, purging out. You can really kind of sink into that a little bit deeper. Don't push yourself too hard. Find your comfort zone, go right to the edge. But don't put yourself in a position where you're going to feel uncomfortable or injure yourself or where you can't get out of it. We're going to slowly walk our way up on our next inhale. We're going to attempt our best to point our toes here. We're going to look like little dancers. Same thing, inhale up, exhale down. Don't let those feet cramp up if you haven't stretched this way in a while where the toes are pointed. We'll take it a little easier here. We'll do one more nice deep inhale and exhale. We're going to slowly walk our hands back up on the next inhale. We're just going to do a side to side stretch and then we'll get into the actual main flow. It's been a while since I've stretched. I figured it probably is for most people, so I wanted to give a nice little good intro, solid intro here. So we're going to inhale one arm up, and we're going to exhale, toes are flexed, reach over, just really opening up that side body. So I have my right side open right now. So this is going to be opening up that liver, gallbladder, the ascending side of the colon, really just stretching that. You're stretching your lats and the muscles and all those intercostals in between the ribs. Using that Ujjayi breath, nice deep breaths in. Big exhales out. Inhale back up to center, and we're just going to move right on into the other side. Exhaling, floating down. Same thing here. Stretching the lats and all the muscles on this side in between the ribs. The QL, the quadratus lumborum in the back. And then this side is more spleen, pancreas, descending side of the colon, a little bit of the heart maybe, just making some space for the lungs. Inhale up. We're going to point the toes here, get a little bit of a deeper stretch into that liver meridian as we go into this. So we're going to inhale the arms up, exhale, float them down to the side. Nice deep stretch again on that liver side. If you're doing the same side, your right side is where your liver and gallbladder are, which most people, I think, some people know, I should say. And we're going to inhale and exhale, stretching onto the other side. Nice, simple stretches. Stretching out that spleen, pancreas side, descending colon. Inhale the arms back up. And you can shake the legs out here. You can go back into your butterfly, your Baddha Konasana. Just kind of do a little bit of a stretch. I kind of like to do a little bit of like a pumping action here, just to really loosen up the inner hips, maybe the outer hips, the sacral area, that lower back, just kind of countering that split. Okay, so now we're going to go into our regular flow. If you want to grab some water or some tea, of course I've got a big Kangen jug here, and then I've got my Vitality. And I want to check my computer real quick because I need to plug in I moved things around quite a bit, so I need to make sure this guy stays plugged in. Okay, that should be good. Perfect. Okay. Thank you for your patience. I know I'm kind of a nerd, but it's all good. All right. So now we're going to move into our Yin-Yang flow. So keep a block near you. If you've done sun salutations before, this is kind of a hybrid of sun salutations with a little bit of yin yoga involved with it. If you're interested in learning more about Meridian yoga, I learned this from Insight Yoga, Sarah Power. She's really awesome. There's a lot of really cool, actually outlines where the meridians are and what you're actually opening up in your moves when you're doing them. All right. So hopefully you guys here in Liver Love can see everything okay. I think you guys can too. My head might be cut off just a little bit. I'm going to lift that up ever so slightly. All right, let's get into it. So we're going to come to the top of our mat, and we're just going to stand in our mountain pose for a minute. You want to feel the balls of the feet and the heels connecting down to the earth. So you're really grounding here. Taking a moment, rolling the shoulders back. Just feeling yourself in this moment, like a standing meditation. We're going to inhale the arms up. Nice little back bend. Then we're going to fold forward, bending the knees just a little bit, especially on this first one. And then slowly straighten your knees from here, getting a nice stretch in the back of the legs, again stretching that kidney meridian. We're going to take our right leg and we're going to step back. We're going to start actually with the knee down. So it's a modification here. We're going to go into a lizard pose now. So first we're going to stay in this lunge just for a moment, taking a nice deep breath. And then we're just going to take this leg and bring it out to the side if that's available to you. That's a nice little lizard pose. Arms will come to the side here, or if you're able to, you can drop them down. This is also a great place for a block. Just really giving a stretch, and I know some of you can't see this on this side. If you can't, just so you can see it, you're basically extending that knee out to the side. This is what it's going to look like from the front. You kind of rotate that foot. This is not going to be available to everybody, so make sure that it's something that you feel comfortable with. Going into that lizard pose, this is the full extension of it. Bring the hands down. Using that Ujjayi breath, remember that purgative breath. Remember keeping your lines nice and straight so that string is still at the crown of your head, extending forward. Keeping that, all that spinal, the vertebrae, all of the nerves and everything just open. We're going to lift back up, place that foot back on the floor, and then we're just going to kick back a little bit. So I'm moving my arm out of the way just so you can see. We're just kicking back a little bit, getting a nice stretch in the back of that leg. Using your Ujjayi breath here, breathing into that. That should be a nice stretch. You might even feel it back into the hamstrings there as well. We're going to pivot forward, dropping that foot back down. Place the hands nice and solid on the mat. If your feet are not, if your toes were not tucked under, tuck your toes under. Lift up. We're going to come into our down dog. And we're just going to give a nice stretch here. You can walk your dog out. That means bending your knees. Let's see this. I want to make sure you guys can see everything too. I'm just bending the knees. Really taking the time to stretch everything out. Using your Ujjayi breath, you want to draw the shoulder blades down the back. And from here, you can stay in this position. You can drop down into child's pose if you need to at any point. We're going to take our right foot and we're just going to kick it up. And we're going to open up the hip just a little bit and then kick that leg back if that's available to you. If this isn't available to you, you can do your down dog. You can do your child's pose. Make sure you feel stable. Then from here, if you're in this pose, you're going to swing your leg up and forward into a pigeon, or you can just bring yourself into a pigeon. If you need a block or a bolster or anything under your bottom there, you can place that there. If not, we're just going to come into this pigeon pose here. And we're going to sit up, push ourselves up, inhale. Again, that integrity in the spine, nice little string at the crown of the head. If If you'd like to extend deeper into it, a nice little back bend, you can inhale, arms up, and exhale into a little back bend here. Again, only if this is available to you. We're going to exhale, float the arms down. You can use your block or bolster here, or you can just bring the hands, the head to the hands, giving a nice stretch. So this is cats. This is yoga with cats. So you're going to bring the hands down onto the floor. And we're just going to breathe into this stretch. So this is opening up the hips. The hips are where we hold a lot of our emotions, and using that purgative breath, that ujjayi breath here, you can draw in that prana, that chi, that life force energy into that area, and exhale out any stagnant emotions or energy that may be locked up in the hips. And again, make sure you're using a bolster or anything if you need to, because you want to make sure you make those adjustments. Pigeon can be something that's a little tricky for people. If you're, just so nobody feels left out, if you absolutely cannot get into a pigeon pose, you can do a modified pigeon where you're actually doing just this, laying on the floor. That's going to stretch that back of that hip. So I just wanted to show that to you so that you're not left out if pigeon is something that is not something you can get into. So from here, we can lift back up. We're going to tuck those back toes under, place our hands firmly into the mat, pushing up, coming into our downward dog again. Nice stretch. The girls got me this mat for Mother's Day, and it was so nice of them, but it's kind of stretchy, so as I go into down dog, it really, really stretches. So we're just going to walk the legs out here a little bit. Nice little down dog stretch, drawing the shoulder blades down the back. From here, you can either walk your feet up, or if you want, if you're able to, and you're a hopper, you can hop your way into a malasana. So if you're able to come into a malasana, basically it's a squat. You can hold yourself up. You can put your hands in prayer, however you feel comfortable. But that's kind of where we're at here at the top of our mat. Extend yourself up, give a nice little stretch in the backs of the legs. Bring the feet into like a wider stance, like a little bit wider than your hips. And just give a nice little stretch here. You can even grab the elbows, let the head hang. Make it heavy, like a bowling ball, just really opening up that back. Creating space. Place your hands down. Bring the head up just a little bit. And you can slowly bring the feet back together. We're going to roll up slowly, just so we don't get dizzy. Roll the arms back. And we're back in our mountain pose, our Tadasana. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, little micro back bend. Exhale, bending the knees. Coming down to the floor. Then we're going to straighten them. This time we're going to kick back the opposite leg. Sprinkles is behind me, like right in my spot. And she's attacking my ankle. And we're just going to hang out in this lunge for a moment. Nice deep breaths. And then when you feel ready, if you can extend that leg out, coming into that lizard pose. If you want to come into the full extension of it or use your block to prop yourself up, you can do that. This is just a nice little hip opener. We're just cycling through the same moves on the opposite side. When you feel ready, you can come back to center. You can place that foot flat on the ground. And we're just going to kick back a little bit just to get that nice stretch in the back of the leg. Using that ujjayi breath, nice deep breath in. and out through the mouth. We're going to rock back forward, placing that foot flat on the mat here, placing your hands nice and flat, kicking your back toes under so you can support yourself as you push yourself into downward facing dog. And if you feel like it, you can walk your dog out again. Just really feeling that stretch, kicking your knees forward. Come up just a little bit so you guys can see, hopefully. And then we're going to go back into our stationary dog. Again, if this is available to you, you can take your left leg this time, the opposite of whatever you did last time, kicking it up nice and straight, rotating out to the side, and dropping that heel back. Just giving a nice little stretch. If this isn't available to you, you can stay in your down dog, you can be in child's pose, or you can be prepping to come into pigeon on the other side. So now we're going to swoop that leg forward, coming into our pigeon. Again, making sure you place a block under that hip. And if the pigeon is not available to you, you can do your modified pigeon where you're reclined and laying back. We're going to sit up here for a moment, feeling that crown pull, opening up the spine, nice deep breaths, grounding ourselves but invigorating ourselves at the same time. And if you'd like to, you can go into a little back bend. We'll inhale the arms up, exhale, micro little back bend here. Inhale, coming forward, exhale, float the hands down and place your forehead on top of your hands or on top of your block, whatever feels good for you today. However deep you want to get into that or can get into that pose. Again, this is opening up the hips, the seat of the emotions, inhaling and exhaling, just clearing that area and drawing in new life with every inhale and exhale. And some practices, if we really want to make this a yin practice, we can hold this for a very long time. But for time's sake, we'll keep it even to the other side. I'll do a full yin video at some point where we can just follow along nice and slow. We're going to come sit up. Nice deep breath in and out. We're going to place our hands firmly on the mat, tuck those back toes under, lift ourselves up, coming back into downward facing dog. Giving a nice stretch, pushing through the hands, drawing the shoulder blades down the back. So imagine, so your shoulders aren't up by your ears, you're just trying to draw those shoulder blades away from the ears and down the back, down to the sacrum. You can walk your dog out here if you'd like. And this time we're going to drop our knees down. We're just going to come into a child's pose. We're going to come into a wide leg child's pose. So your legs are going to be about the width of the mat. And just dropping the head down. If you need your block here, you can place your block under your forehead at whatever height you need. Nice deep breath in and out, really stretching out that back. Ujjayi breath. Taking a moment, reconnecting with your intention, with the group intention. Just grounding for a moment, thanking yourself for being here so far. And when you feel nice and ready, you can start to bring yourself up. And I'm just going to come into a little bit of a standing position, wide leg. I'm going to check everybody can see me okay. Rolling the shoulders out maybe if they're feeling tight. We're going to take our right hand, lift it up. Left hand is just going to come down, stretching out that liver, gallbladder side, ascending colon side. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Inhale back to center. We're going to exhale, draw that right leg down, or that right hand down that right leg. Left hand comes up, just a nice little stretch, stretching out the spleen, pancreas side. Yeah, both of my mirrors are flipped, so one's going one way and one's going the other way, so. Inhale, up, back to center. We're going to come into a triangle pose right now. So basically you're going to have for you guys, this foot is going to be nice and straight. This foot is going to be pointed forward, if you will. Your heel is going to be aligned with the middle of that foot. And come to a nice comfortable width. Arms are going to come out nice and strong, nice and straight. You're going to inhale and exhale, pivot forward, and then rotate the hands down. This might be a good place for a block. If you feel like you want to hold yourself up with a block here, maybe medium height, maybe low, or if you don't need it, you can just put yourself, make sure you're bracing yourself as much as you need to. You're going to get a nice stretch coming in the inside of the leg. This is also Liver Meridian here. So, and it's also a little bit of a nice twist. You can gaze up towards your hands. Wherever your gaze is called your drishti point. So if you want your drishti point to be at your thumb, if you're able to do that, or you can pick a spot on the ceiling or the wall in front of you, whatever feels comfortable. Some people like to look down at this hand too. And we're just going to take some nice deep breaths in, really stretching out that liver meridian here. Taking time to breathe, keeping that space between all the vertebrae. Then I like to bend the knee just a little bit, like make sure you can come out of this comfortably. Bend the knee a little bit, and then pull yourself over that leg. Kind of going back into that kidney, getting that back of that leg. Using Ujjayi, really breathe here. If you want to get really fancy, my intuitive self just really wants to come into like some kind of airplane or half moon here. You can play around with that too, if that's available to you. Really just stretch the back of that leg a little bit. Wherever you are with that, come back down to your nice base. We're going to rotate both so that both feet are pointed forward now. And just give a nice little stretch here. You're really stretching the backs of the legs. You can walk yourself over to one side. Again, if you need your block here, you can do that. However feels comfortable. Just really stretching over to one side, taking a moment, using that Ujjayi breath. And when you feel ready, you can slowly walk yourself over to the other side. Nice little stretch. Sometimes you actually feel that on the external part of the shins. Sprinkles his back. She wants to say hello. And then we're going to slowly come up, keeping this foot now, which is my left, straight forward, and then rotating this right foot, keeping the heel in alignment with the middle of my foot here. Arms come up nice and tall, making sure that you have a good distance here. It doesn't feel too far or too short. Drawing the shoulders down. Inhale. Exhale, pivot forward. Reaching, just really reaching with that right hand. And then you're just going to pivot down. Again, if you need your block here, you can put that there. And stretching kind of more of the internal side of the leg, the medial part of the leg. Getting those adductors, all those different muscles in there. And that's where that liver meridian hides deep in there. Well, not really deep. It's more of a superficial part of the meridian. And again, focus where your drishti point is, wherever you want it to be, up at that hand if it's available to you. Maybe you want to gaze down at the lower hand. Just helps you keep your balance. And again, kind of coming out of that a little bit, maybe getting a nice little bend in the knee for a second, and then stretching over that whole right leg. Getting the back of the leg, getting more of that kidney meridian. Nice deep breath in and out. And if you want to play with it again here, you can. You can come up into an airplane, or maybe some kind of half moon, or just a deeper stretch. Sometimes I just like to play with it like that. And you can place that foot back down. We're going to start to wind down a little bit now. Back to you. We're going to do a couple little twists, and then we'll come into our final savasana, just to kind of keep it shorter and sweeter today. I could do this all day long, but we all have things we need to do. So maybe a little Baddha Konasana, a little bit of butterfly might feel good here. Again, kind of maybe doing that little pulsing motion. If you want to inhale the arms up, go into the full extension of the pose. You can do that too, with or without the block. Nice deep breaths in and out. And here we're going to kind of go into what we did a little bit earlier, where we had the foot on the inside of the thigh last time. This time we're going to, if it's available to you, we're just going to cross that leg over. So you're basically stacking your knees, if that's available to you, or as close as you can get to that. Maybe it's just, a number 4 type of shape here. If you're able to stack the knees as close as you can, we're going to inhale the arms up, exhale, fold forward if you can, touching your toes. Maybe you're not touching your toes. Maybe your hands are to the side, on the top of the shin, wherever they come today. Using that Ujjayi breath, empowering and cleansing. That nice string at the top of the head, trying to keep that spine, some integrity in the spine here as you fold forward. Breathing in and out. If it's available to you, you can come into the full extension of shoelace. You're basically stacking the knees, and the feet are going to come out on either side of you here. You're going to inhale the arms up. Exhale, float them down. Again, you may need your block here, and that's fine. You want to feel like your sit bones are still grounded into the mat. They have a tendency to feel like they're pulling up, but you're kind of giving a nice little sacral stretch here. Ujjayi breath in, drawing in that prana and life force energy. Out, just purging it out. Any stagnation, anything that no longer serves you. Bringing yourself back to seated, sitting upright. You can roll the shoulders out if that feels good. Dropping them down away from the ears. Nice little crown pull here. Grounding and rooting through the sit bones. And we're just going to take our right hand, the leg that's on top, you're going to take that hand, slide it over, and give a nice little stretch. And inhaling, come back to center. Shake the legs out here a little bit. Now we're going to take the opposite side. I'm using my left leg on this side. And again, stacking the knees as close as you can to that. Maybe you come to a number 4, whatever it is, wherever that you are today, just honor where that is, and that's totally fine. Anything is progress, right? So shoulders down, crown pull, exhaling, grounding and rooting, inhaling the arms up, exhale, float them down, nice little stretch. Shoelace pose is a great pose that helps. Actually, in the Insight yoga, not only is it meridian yoga, because you're stretching out the certain meridians, bringing in that life force and helping things move through it, but also your certain positions where you're stacking, you're actually pressing on acupressure points, which is great. Ujjayi, in and out. When you feel nice and ready, if it's available to you, you can slide that bottom leg in, coming into the full extension of shoelace. Here you can feel where you're pressing onto the different meridian points, and you're getting a nice little stretch in the hips here. Again, if you need to roll out the shoulders, drop them down, keeping that integrity, but also grounding. Inhaling the arms up. Exhale, float them down. Maybe you need a block here. Maybe you can touch the ground. Even if you're just like this, that's fine today, wherever you're at today. Using that Ujjayi breath again. Connecting with your intention. Just being grateful that you're here, you're moving your body, you're breathing into your body, breathing into all these meridian spaces and muscles, and just getting your blood flowing and getting the nerves opening up. And when you feel nice and ready, on your inhale, you can slowly walk yourself back up. The leg that's on top, you're going to place that same hand down onto the ground. And you can slide it out a little bit if you need to. The opposite hand is going to come up. Just give a nice little stretch. And again, you might be like this, but just try to make sure that that shoulder is nice and flat. If you need to rest on your block here, you can do that wherever you feel comfortable. Again, giving a nice little meridian. Well, yes, you are getting a meridian stretch, but you're also stretching out the liver side. Inhale, the arms up. Shake the feet out here again. We're going to take our right leg now, the opposite leg that was on top last time, and we're going to cross that leg over. That same side, you're going to place the hand back behind you and try not to fold in. Try to keep nice integrity in that spine, right? And I feel like I'm repeating that same thing, but it really is what it is. You're just keeping a nice posture. So you've got that crown pole, and you're grounded and rooted. You can do an inhale as you feel yourself pulling up, and an exhale as you just gently feel the sit bones grounding into the earth. You're going to take this hand and wrap it around that knee, or if you want to place the hand in front of the knee, you can do that too. And we're just going to go into a nice little twist here. This is twisting and massaging the liver, the gallbladder, the ascending and part of the transverse colon that goes across. Find a nice drishti point, your focus point. Keeping your posture nice and straight if you can. You're also opening up all those nerve pathways coming out of the spine here as well. Breathing into them. Exhaling out. In any of these twists, you really want to bring your breath, the focus to your breath as much as possible. Because you really are, you're giving a nice twist. You can purge out a lot. It's like you're taking out a wet cloth and wringing it out, right? A couple more breaths here whenever you feel ready. You're going to inhale and exhale. Come forward. Switch out the feet here. Sometimes I do this in a different pattern that's a little more flowy, but for the sake of today, sometimes we go into that, then we do this, then we go into shoelace, but I just want to really focus on everything. So we're going to put the opposite foot over now. Just cross it over your leg. That leg that's on top, that same hand is going to come back behind you. Again, don't mind my absence of right and lefts today. I'm working with the two different cameras. And you're either going to hug that leg in, and turn, or you can place the elbow in front. And again, you want to keep a nice posture here. Keeping that nice posture helps you to be able to breathe into this deeper. When you're twisting, I know it also compresses the lungs a little bit, so the better your posture is, the better oxygen intake you'll still get in these twists. So you might even feel a nice little stretch in the trap, the rotator cuff, even the rhomboids in between the shoulder blades. And this side, we're kind of just massaging the spleen, the pancreatic side, a little bit more of that transverse colon and the descending colon. Moving those bugs out. I know it's gross, but we've all got them and we all have to get rid of them. It's a funky thing. And just breathing here, breathing nice and deep. And whenever you feel ready, on your next inhale, breathing in, and exhale. You can release. You can shake out the feet here. I'm going to undo my claw clip. It's the first time I've been with my hair up in months, which is kind of fun. And we're just going to come onto our backs, starting to wind down our practice. Good, you guys can see me still. And just for the sake of it, if anybody wants to, this is kind of my ab workout also. So first it's a little stretch, right? We're gonna stretch the toes up. I like to point my toes first. Again, you're really stretching that liver meridian there on the top of the feet, in between the big toe and the little toes. And you can flex the feet, getting a deeper stretch in the backs of the legs, opening up the hamstrings, the calves, that kidney meridian. And I kind of just like to play with it a little bit. If you're able to, you can take one leg down, just get a nice little stretch again, and go back and forth between the pointed and the flexed foot here, alternating kidney and liver. And you can switch it out, grabbing onto one leg. If you can't do this, you can use a strap or a like a kitchen towel or a towel or something, a belt. And I can tell that I'm tight. I haven't stretched in a while. Like my leg is still fairly bent. And see, that's the thing. It's okay. Wherever we're at today is totally cool because we're doing it. It's better than not doing it, right? Okay. And into the little ab workout, if you'd like to learn it, you can place your hands down to the side or you can cactus them out to the sides here. And I just like to take my feet and slowly drop them down. You can also do some of these guys, a little back and forth. The lower you go, the lower in the abs you'll work. And that might not be available to everybody. It's something you kind of have to work up to. Or you can do some of these guys. So I like to really add in core work. I think not only does it help with our structural integrity and our just general core strength, but also, when you work on your core, you're also working on the core of your being, right? And you're able to hold yourself. You're working and exercising that solar plexus and that sacral area and the root chakra even. You can hold on to those perineal muscles. The perineum, you can hold that tight, like almost like a Kegel, right? As you're doing this, you're really working that root chakra as well. And you'll feel it. You'll feel all of the abs working, and especially if we're going to go into our, in the other group, the happy hormones, going into the weight loss group and all of that, we can work on those like core muscles for those of us that really want to physically work on that area as well. And I mean, who knows? Maybe this helps detox a little bit as well. Kind of almost like similar to how a twist would work. making a little stronger, more in control, more mind-body connection to that area, letting those, pulling those parasites out. I'm like, hey guys, sorry, it's time to, you're being addicted here. So we're gonna come into happy baby. You can take your peace fingers and wrap them around the big toe, or you can take your hands around the outside of the foot and just kind of come into a nice happy baby. You can rock back and forth if you'd like to, kind of giving yourself a nice lower back massage. If you're using your peace fingers on your big toes, you have a little bit more that you can work with. You can kind of pull the legs back. Sometimes I like to kick them out, kind of coming into a split, reclined split, if you will. That feels really good on the backs of the legs, really opening up the hamstrings, again, opening up that kidney channel. Sometimes I like to do it on this side first. Sometimes I like to take one leg and stretch it out and bend the other leg in. Kind of focusing on one side or the other. Really just helps you get into the deeper stretches, makes you reclined splits or the seated splits much easier to get into. You're kind of working higher up on the hamstrings too. So nice little stretch here. And here, if you had to modify your pigeon in the beginning, we'll just repeat it here. If not, we're going to go into our reclined pigeon just because it helps you, again, kind of like grabbing onto the feet in happy baby. It helps you have a little bit more control of how deep you want to go. So you're just going to cross I'm crossing my right leg over my left, and I'm wrapping my hands around my left leg and just drawing it into the body. Keeping my body nice and flat, my back is nice and flat on the mat. Just kind of relaxing into this. This is our wind down period. You can use your Ujjayi breath. Really breathing into that hip wherever you feel it today. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Remembering that intention again. Start to slow your mind down. Remember, you're not trying to not focus on thoughts. You just become the observer of them. That's the key to meditation. You're not trying to control the thoughts because you just can't, You become the observer of them. And when you become the observer of them, you realize that in a sense, you really do have more control over them. And that's really the only way to really gain that in a meditative sense anyway. We're going to switch feet now. Left foot comes on top of the right leg. I'm going to thread my arms through, grabbing that right leg and just drawing everything in close to the mid-body. And my back is flat on the floor. I have a nice control over how deep I want to take this pose. Using that Ujjayi breath. Nice deep inhales, drawing in all that prana. And I want you to remember that with your breath as you go throughout your day. Even when you're off your mat, every inhale not only increases oxygen, but it really does. It increases that chi, that prana, that life force energy, which, could be, if you're just looking at it scientifically, it could be just the oxygen, but there really is so much more than that. There's so many different types of chi. There's the types of chi from our food. There's chi from our air. There's chi from love and interaction. There's so many different types of vitality that we can tune into. And whenever you feel nice and ready, once you've stretched out both sides, however you feel comfortable, when you feel nice and balanced, you can kind of come back into a happy baby again for a second if you need to. I'm going to place my feet together, and our butterfly pose that we were doing earlier, I'm kind of just going to do a reclined version of that. So putting the soles of the feet together here for a moment. getting ready for our Savasana, our resting pose. As you get into that, you can be mindful of if your hands are facing up, you're in a receiving mode. If your hands are facing down, you're like, okay, I've got enough energy. I'm just ready to like relax and I need to ground more. So if you feel like you need to ground more, you can place your hands down. If you feel like you need to receive more energy, maybe you're feeling a little sluggish, tired today, your hands can be up. If you need to feel a little balance of both, your left hand is going to remain up. That's your receiving hand. And your right hand is going to face down to the mat. That's your giving hand, so you're kind of just more grounding. So you can play with that too. Maybe it feels better to have it the opposite way. You know, there's also personal interpretation and all of that as well. So now that we have that figured out with the hands and we've gone into a nice little stretch with our reclined butterfly, you can extend the feet out. Let the toes hang down to the side. Sorry, I'm getting a phone call. I hope it's not interrupting. And again, find where your hands need to be today. You can also place your hands on your abdomen. And as you inhale, feeling the belly rise. As you exhale, feel the belly fall. Belly breathing, using that Ujjayi breath again. Next time we'll do maybe a little bit of alternate nostril breathing, Om Om Vilom, Nadi Shodhana. It's that alternate nostril breath that really helps with the sinuses. It's also a nice purging breath. As you inhale, just remember you're fueling your body. That life force energy, that prana, healing energy. It's divine energy straight from God, Creator. As you exhale, you can feel yourself start to sink into the mat, relaxing the body, relaxing the joints. Push your hands out to the side, palms facing up or down. Just take a moment to really feel yourself in your body. Feeling yourself in the room. Feeling present. Feeling capable. Feeling empowered, invigorated. Feeling relaxed. Feeling calm. And knowing that at any point you can come back to this. Feeling the breath. Touch your nose as you inhale. It's nice and cooling. Feeling the breath leave as you exhale. Feeling that heat, all that old energy leaving the body, making way for the new, fresh energy, fresh chi. When you feel nice and ready, you can start to bring that awareness back into the room, back to the body, back to the breath. You can wiggle your toes and your fingers. Rotate the wrists and the ankles. Stretching out. You're reaching overhead, giving a nice full body stretch. And when you feel ready, you can roll over onto your right side, using your right arm as a pillow. Taking your time here, just signaling the body it's time to wake up. When you feel ready, you can take your left hand and push yourself up, coming forward into a seated position. It's a nice long session. I really have so many other things I want to show you guys. I want to do some Qigong, a lot of other things. There's so much. This is such a vast practice, right? Just sitting, bringing that consciousness back to being aware and ready for the rest of our day. We're going to take our hands into prayer in front of the chest, remembering to feel good things from that heart space. Inhaling in, exhaling out, expanding that heart space. Just expanding it out into your life, into your room, your home, your community, your city, your state, your country, the entire world, wherever you want it to go, just expand that heart space out. And remembering to feel good things about ourselves and others. We're going to take our prayer hands and bring them up over the lips. Remembering to speak good things about ourselves, about others, about the world, about the planet. We speak, or we feel, speak, and think things that we want into existence. We are co-creators. Speaking all of those beautiful things out into the world, into our reality, into our existence, into our consciousness. Blessing everybody with the words we speak, the feelings that we feel. Bringing the prayer hands up above the forehead, remembering to think good things about ourselves, about others, about the world and this life, and expanding those amazing thoughts, words, and feelings into our existence, our reality, our world, our society, our communities, our friendships, our families, and ourselves. Thank you all for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you got something amazing from it. And I'm excited to do more of this. We can do shorter sessions. This, I just kind of wanted to wing it and do a little bit of that yin-yang flow. We did a lot of extra stretching. I actually didn't pull you through the entire yin-yang flow because I just really felt like it was good to start from a beginner's place. Also, I haven't done my own practice in a couple weeks, getting over that cold. So it was good for me to stretch and everything too. Next time, I would love to go deeper into some things. I really want to show you some Qigong and some like energy clearing kind of stuff that's really phenomenal and just awesome, and people love it. So every time I do Qigong in a class, people are like, I'm going to do more of that. So we'll definitely add some of that next time. And again, thank you for joining me. If you're interested in learning more about the beautiful properties of the Kangen water that I use to make my tea, or the vitality itself. This is actually an Ayurvedic blend of tea. This is part of our liver cleanse, which is awesome. Everything's organic, all Ayurvedic blends, created by or formulated by Andrea Brighton from the Brighton Institute, which is pretty awesome. And then we've got our black seed oil, obviously fulvic is just amazing, and our purge tonic for the Parasite cleanse, and there's so many other amazing things that go with this too. I've been making a daily smoothie with the Ayurvedic blends. There's 3, the body, mind, and soul. Each one does something different for the body that's absolutely phenomenal and amazing. There's Nourish, there's the Complete Protein, which also has pumpkin seed protein, which not only is just a powerhouse for a protein and super bioavailable, but pumpkin seeds also help flush out parasites, which is pretty amazing. So there's a lot of really cool stuff. I look forward to joining you again soon. I don't know exactly when. Maybe we'll come up with some kind of schedule or something, or it'll just be kind of random and I'll pop in and share with you when I can. All right. Much love to you guys. Namaste.